I am painting today. Most of the things were built, so I was able to get out and prime some stuff. Yeah, feel pretty good about that. Paint the barrels. Well, I was planning on doing some of the actual retinue at the moment. But I'm also going to put them all on these paint handles. Some of this double-sided tape is starting to peel off, but I have a whole roll of it. So this is the fourth or fifth time I'm using these ones. So some of them are a little less perfect than others. I think that one just ripped off, so that one needs to be replaced. I do not have any horses in this particular thing. You can add horses to it. The retinue box and the mounted sergeants and knights exist as boxes, but this is the starter 2 set, the 2-player starter, and they do not actually have any horses. So I did purchase some of the mounted sergeants for the future, but they're not part of this particular retinue box. Well, not retinue, but the 2-player starter box. So, future expansions. Crash. Corner right now. Ooh, shots. Yeah. I mean, it works great for a handle. There's nothing going on with this one. Nice and sturdy. The only thing is I don't actually have enough shot glasses for all of both retinues. I do not have any enough deep kit. They're cool looking, I just don't I've never purchased any of them. Mustache! Welcome in. How was your last week? It was busy, huh? Underhive, how's it going? Whoop, that It's the second time that has fallen off. That sword does not want to actually glue. Whatever. It's not a fully what you see is what you get game, so that's fine. Oh. Yeah, that seems kind of busy. Kind of busy. With luggage. Whew. So there's no real reason why I grabbed the blue retinue over the red retinue here. All right. So I'm gonna have to figure out all the different colors I want to use. Yay! All right. Let's see. 112. Nice. Because blue tastes better than red? I mean, it's just the location I have them on the tray, I guess. I grabbed the ones closer. But they have the archers, the knights with the leader, the sergeants with falchions, and the spears. So, yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start. Think I'm gonna go through and just paint all of the chainmail first. Just to pick out some of the colors, you know? A lot of them are wearing... Well, I mean, these are all the peasant levy. So they're just wearing regular shirts and stuff. So that can be pretty much any color. I still not. I still have not decided on which lord this is going to be. You don't like the egg boys? You have to rework your streak up? Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we decided this was going to be Declare. And I haven't decided who this one's going to be. But being that this is the blue retinue, it should be one of the Loyalist? So during the Barons' War, going back to my referencing stuff, no, it's not like in Eclair, no. So during the first Barons' War, Gilbert Declare and Richard Declare were both technically in there as rebel barons. I'm looking at Richard Declare for that, and then in the Second Barons' War, the Red Duke was a thing. So the red one, the red retinue made sense. Yeah, many of them swapped sides numerous times. But being that this is the red retinue's leader, the red, the Red Duke kind of makes sense. But for the Loyalist side, I'm still trying to decide exactly what I want to paint. Like, it would be very nice to paint, there's so many different names. William Marshall would be a very good one to paint, but I'm not sure I want to paint this as that. Pretty sure that's not something I want to do. I don't have a way to do the... Are those lions or griffins? Well, whichever way. I don't have a good way to do that, and I'm not going to try to freehand that. So that's why I'm not really sure about that option, Mustache. I like the idea, but I'm not 100% on it. There's just so many different options. But I figured, without hitting any of the heraldry, I can at least start with the mail. So, yeah, I'm gonna start with chainmail silver and just work through some of them. Like, I already know that I don't need the bow or the spear right now. I can do the spear tips, but I don't need to worry about those right now. Whereas these guys all have mail. So, just to start working on the painting. I gotta start somewhere, right? So, if I'm careful, I don't need to worry about getting anything on any of the areas where I will be doing heraldry. So, desk is a little bit cluttered, actually, with 27 models on it. I do plan on doing a wash over the mail to darken the recesses. No snackies left. That's not good. So, the Dwarf and Elf Villager sets from Wargames Atlantic is now out. Yep. Interesting. That was a nice email from Wargames Atlantic. Yeah, look, mail. Yes, yes, absolutely going to use chainmail on the chainmail. Definitely using chainmail on chainmail. It's amazing. Technically, it would be a lot dirtier than this, but I'm thinking with a dark tone wash over it, it'll probably darken down a little bit closer to what it should be. because they would normally oil their armor to keep it from rusting. So they wouldn't have this shine going on. Make them all slippy and harder to catch. Yeah. Yeah. This is also an older paint, so it's a little bit thick on the palette. So I'm trying to get it to water down just the, to the right consistency, but it's a little bit weird. Texas Warsmith, how's it going? I'm doing alright. I'm just trying to get the first color down on any of the Baron's War. Finally at a point where I can start painting them. So, figured what better way than to pick out the male. I will say, this is much brighter than I was originally intending for it to be, but I think it can work. I think it'll work fine. Probably hit it with a dark tone, make the recesses a lot darker. Should work. But as far as, I mean, it'll look more like mail that way, right? Whew. Yeah, the dark tone is going to help a lot. Alright. But yeah, since I'm going to do their clothing afterwards, their tabards and stuff. Whatever. They're not technically tabards. They're too early for that. They're outer clothing. Since I'm planning on painting that later, I'll probably do the mail and then hit it with the wash and then start doing the outer clothing. And I could probably use a bigger brush, but this gives me a little bit better control. But yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. And I'm glad to be painting today. Uh, in hobby news, that actually is interesting for me, is all the Marvel Crisis Protocol update thing came through. So there are so many new model references that I need to figure out what's going on with everything. Like, a whole bunch of models got more stamina, and some of the rules changed on some of the others. It's big change. So, pretty excited about that. Getting more of those painted in the near future. Still waiting for the BattleTech core book to, or the core box to come out, so that I can buy some. Always more things to work on, right? Oh yeah? There we go. Look at that, Kappa Pay. Yeah. My plan is for the swords and any plate armor that... How's it going, Sean? Long time no talk. How's it going? But yeah, for the plate, for like the helms and everything, I think I'm going to go with a slightly darker metal. And the swords. So instead of this chainmail silver, I'll probably go with, I don't know, maybe like a normal gunmetal color. Just to break up the different sections. I think that'll work. Weird having them so much smaller, you know? Just the bulk of the model is so much lighter. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. I don't know. It's... not going to take too much effort to go through and pick out all of the mail. I'm already on Model 3, and half of these guys don't even have any. So... I've got mail. Yep. not like a super hard process to go through and just pick out the different colors, you know? I don't know. Going through and doing all of the um, I'm expecting the heraldry to be the longest time, depending on what I choose. I don't really think it's going to be that hard to paint these guys overall. They are going to look good after just a few colors, I think. I don't think I'll need to go like super heavy into each of them. They do all have spurs. Gonna have to pick that out. Yeah, with Declare it is only 3 chevrons. I'm aware. Um, I've I've been looking at a lot of heraldry lately, and I've not really made full sense of all of the words, but it's like where each of the chevrons comes from and which part of it's a lot. There's a lot to it. Uh, I think for the padding, when some of these have some padding showing down here, thinking I might go linen. Or something in that general color. I know that the peasants can have a lot of different colors on them. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that either. There's a lot of different color options here overall, and it's gonna be kind of... I can choose pretty much anything. Is everyone else having a decent time? It's been kind of this weekend's been kind of a little bit weird for me. Just projects haven't gone the way I've been planning, and some of the days have been a little bit different than expected. You know, you make plans for a day and then things go a little bit off from that. I don't know. I wouldn't say they've been bad, just the last couple of days just felt weird. Probably also doesn't help that one of my cats woke me up at least 3 times last night. Not something they usually do. So this one has short sleeves on the male. An interesting detail. I think it's from the Sergeant frame instead of the Knight frame, which pretty cool that it works either way. Yeah. I'm looking forward to trying this game out. Like, the models are now built, but I want to get them painted first, you know? I think that's part of the fun, is to get the models painted and play a full game with them, you know? Yeah, just painting the mail. So, alternatives to doing this solid base coat, I could have just done a quick dry brush over everything and left some of the brown in the recesses. We wouldn't have even needed to do the wash over it that way. But I don't know. This way works too. Oh yeah, since I had a chance to get out in Prime, I also had, well, there was a little while before I could get out in Prime. I had some time after Friday's stream, so I did end up building 6 padded sergeant with crossbows as well. They're not part of the retinues, but since I had the extra models sitting around, I did take the time to build those. So they're my first unit outside of the 2 500-point retinues. I'm sure I'll be doing a lot more of those over time, but now that they are primed, I can start working on these guys, paint-wise. Alright. But yeah, I figured since Friday was late, and I didn't think I would get a chance to prime anytime soon, I just built those up. And then Saturday was actually a good day to prime. So I actually got all of these out and primed, and I wasn't expecting that, but happy, you know? 21,000 points of Bretonians. Okay. That has a little bit of mail. Is it supposed to, though? I mean, yeah, they're supposed to have mail. Right? CDs with a raid. How are you today? How's the new going? It's good? Good. Glad to hear it. Food break? Sounds good. Yeah. You've been working on that a lot, though. Yeah, lurk away. I was lurking in your stream, so... Yeah, just picking out all of the mail at the moment for the blue retinue. Need to get back to AdMech? Yeah. I still haven't sold mine off, but I still have it sitting around thinking about that. I have so many different projects, it's definitely not top of the list. All right. The first of the sergeants with falchion. I don't have to paint them all with the same color mail, but I do like the idea. Yep. Ops off the model. Yep. Okay. Yep, okay. I'm not used to the cardboard being right there. Knocked over like 10 different models. Only one of them hit the ground, though. Which is good. That could have been worse. Why did it happen? Well, I wanted to turn on the kettle. Welcome back. Yeah, there's a long story behind the Badger Part 39. Going to Wakefield, huh? Fun. Um, so the Badger thing is something from 22 years ago that has mutated over the course of that time to be Blissful Badger. But it's been around for quite a while. And it just seemed like the right name when starting the YouTube channel. So, but I do like badgers. Badgers are cool. Two more for mail, and then we can pick out the next color. This angle reminds me of Dragon Slayer. Dragon's Lair, however you wanna. That break. So shiny. Like, they only have one color on them, but look at how much more vibrant they are to the levy that are just sitting there. They're gonna get way better over time, but it's a start, you know? Okay. I had some ideas for colors already. So I actually have Wasteland Clay and Sand Yellow. I was gonna do the Sand Yellow for the where was it? For the padding underneath the mail. I was actually gonna do the Sand Yellow for that. And then I was gonna do a few, like, I don't know, I have a few like mid-tone colors I was thinking about doing. I was gonna do a little bit, not for the blue retinue, but for the red retinue, I was gonna do a little bit of Bordeaux red. It comes out more of a pinkish color. Thought that would be for a decent color. But I hadn't really given a whole lot of thought. I mean, I have, what, about 200 paints here that I barely ever use, and I was just like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 in that color, and another one in that color, and the levy can easily be pretty much whatever color I feel like. Because, like I said, I'm going to do the belts on the blue retinue in blue. And the belts on the red retinue in red. And other than that, I wasn't planning on doing anything fancy except for any of the heraldry I wanted to do. Or I guess, you know, he can have a split look to him or something like that, but I haven't really given it 100% thought yet. So I really should. Since I'm already at the painting stage, I should actually think about what I'm painting them as. But like, just because a guy has a shield doesn't mean that he's gonna have a heraldry, right? Hey, that is all of the mail for the blue retinue. So I think I'm gonna switch from chainmail silver to that's what we're gonna see what AK gunmetal is like for the rest of the weapons and helmets and such. That sounds right. Just to get a color differentiation going, you know? So, anyway, I don't know. Let's see. Alright, on the wet palette, it's not too much darker, but it is darker. So that should work, right? I don't know. That might be too close to the same. Thoughts? Is that enough different? Or do I add a drop of dark gray into it? Do I darken it? You like it? Okay. I'll go with it. Should I go brass for the crossguards? Ooh, I can do the spurs that way too. For the little spurs and the crossguards. Okay, so for the knights, do brass. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, the sergeants might not have the brass. I know they don't have the spurs. Barons get the blingiest stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Baron could even have a painted helm, right? Like, this guy could just have his helm painted. I don't know. Yeah, this is such a close color. It feels weird that I'm spending the time to swap between them, but it's fine. Good news is once I'm done with these metallics, pretty much just painting whatever after that. No more metallics after this. So definitely not going to finish them with just the metallics, but gonna get a good amount of model done. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't expect these to go super fast. Completed. So. You know, he's got... You're getting there. Getting there. Going alright. Oh, at the end of the playlist. So anyone else painting along? I'm just vibing. Guessing that means mostly vibing. All right. One piece of metal on this guy. That's the only archer that I have that has firing, so. And the horn wouldn't be metal. So yeah, that's all of the archers with the metal. And then got all of the spearmen. Gotta get the spear tips. Yeah. Like, they get one little piece of metal on that. Nine of them. Yeah. Well, there's only a certain number of these that I'm going to be able to do a layer like this. Like, after this, I could... Well, I'm going to do the brass on the knights. But other than that, most of the rest is going to be whatever color I want to do for each thing. Like, I could do all of the spear shafts the same brown. You know, I can do the bows in the same colors. But after that, I pretty much just choose a color to do a part on these guys. But it just made sense to do all of the metals first. So I'm not going back and forth with it. There's actually a skill that you can take with the spearmen. I don't know exactly which level you have to have them in, but I was thinking about doing something like regular boss, no, maybe veteran, where if you take it, they cannot fight back So if they charge you, well, you don't have any recourse there. But if you charge them, they don't get to fight back unless they also have spears or bills. So I was thinking that might be an interesting unit to do. Padded sergeants with spears with that upgrade. Because instead of taking mail to slow them down and give them better defenses, they're going to be slightly faster because they'll be wearing padded instead. And they don't have to worry about fight back if they charge. So positioning still has to play a part, but I think for the extra movement, it's worth it. So I don't know. I'm just looking at all the different build options, and like I actually want to get a group of levy slingers in there too, just because I think it's fun to have dudes with slings. So I don't know, I'm just trying to make them interesting. Alright, shake the paint for a moment. What? A banana orc? Really? Okay. I'm over here trying to paint minis and you're carrying a banana orc. Yep. Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Carrying a banana orc. No? Just... Yep. It's alright. Bananageddon. Yeah. Alright, these guys can go over here. And somehow I need to be careful with this color. Oh yeah, that pops. That's a bit of extra color. Okay, 3-color minimum. That's how it works, right? 3 colors. Hey, Cosmic. How's it going? I'm getting some brass on the knights. I did the mail in chainmail. I did the cap and blade in gunmetal, and now I'm hitting the smaller details on the knights with brass. Oh, brassy brass. Still a long way to go, but it's starting to look good. What I have done, so. Yep. I mean, being that I didn't have any paint on any of these models at the beginning of the night, yeah. Still a long way to go with all of their heraldry and stuff like that that needs to be done. Some of them are going to have, like, split shirts and stuff. Maybe some quartered patterns. Don't know exactly yet, but getting there. You have a diorama idea. Age of Sigmar, okay. So far I'm following. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get disqualified, but it's still funny. They don't have a sense of humor. Uh, like, the Great Clean one got immediately disqualified. The pizza got disqualified. The pizza chef. They don't have a sense of humor. They don't enjoy things that are... I don't know. I think you're better off going to one of the non-Games Workshop painting competitions if you're going to do something like that, where they're not going to be like, oh, it's not showing off the model that we want it to, type of thing. Pretty sure. I don't know the exact age category for it, but I know they have a Youngbloods category. Okay. Did I just lose, like, a whole bunch of frames? Yep. It's showing I've dropped almost 500 frames. Interesting. Evil Pieball. Welcome in. I don't believe we have a ton of smoke, but we do have daily storms coming through. So, not quite as bad, but every now and then power flickers, and we did lose it for a while, a week or two ago. Overall, not horrible. Just been really hot. There's also that. Up to 600 frames dropped. Yeah. Ooh. Painting is fun. I would, if I were to go somewhere like that, I would definitely be spending the time painting. I think getting to hang out with other people and paint is more interesting. I'm just saying I'd be careful with it if you're actually trying to enter it as a serious piece. It might be questionable. At the same time, it might be one of those things where you could ask judges earlier on, and they could give you an answer before you spend a long time working on it. Alright. Cool. I know I want this part. Painted brass. But what part of the helmet do I want to do? Man, I'm dropping a lot of frames tonight. I'm sorry, people. I don't know why. I don't know if I want to paint the helm or go with metals. I think the metals will actually look better. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, I'm just saying be careful if you are. Builday! How's it going? Yeah. Other than it seems to be I'm dropping a whole bunch of frames today. And I don't understand why. But other than that... Thanks. Yeah, I've dropped 1,300 frames already. Don't know why. Yeah, I'm just going through and picking out all the metals. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more work after this step, but, you know, gotta get one step done at a time, right? Well, I've built 4 of the 8 pieces of terrain so far. So, this is what they look like, primed. So, they shouldn't be that bad to paint up. So, nice textures and everything. Yeah. Alright, so we've got spurs and hilts. We've got the helmet being a little bit fancier. That should be good, right? Yeah. And then we just have the normal sergeants instead of the knights. They don't have any brass on them, so they're more simplified. Then we got spear tips and archers that don't have any metal on them. So they already read differently just on the number of metal parts. Pretty cool. So, if we've got an hour, do I put the dark tone on all of the metals? Hey, Cal. How's it going? So I just did all the metals. If I put the dark tone on the metals, I will not be able to do pretty much anything else with those models. But I could still touch up other things from there. So I think we're going to shake up the dark tone, and we're going to put it on the mail. Well, all the metal. Solvix, welcome in. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the dark tone on the metals, and then we'll go to some of the levy work, because the rest of it'll have to dry. I think that's a reasonable first day of painting for the blue retinue. Yeah. Alright, that goes there, this goes here. This swaps over Alright. Yeah, I've been working on the medals. So we have sergeants with falchions. So all the males picked out and the falchions painted. You'll notice that it's all steel. And then the knights have all of the male picked out, and their hilts are done in brass, and same with their spurs. And then the Baron has a extra little bit of detail with the helm. So I'm going to take each of these and put a wash over the metals. And that should help the recesses and give it more of an oily look to it. I'm doing all of this before I do any of the actual fabrics or anything, so that the wash doesn't get all pooled up on whatever I do. Same with the face. But I'm just adding a little bit of grime and oil, and gonna let that dry before we do anything else on these. Yeah, as far as, you know, I've got a little over 2 hours of painting done on these guys. Like, that's pooling a little weird, but each individual ring is starting to pop a little bit. And if I have to do an extremely light dry brush back over it later on, I can. But we'll see how it dries. Right? This is Baron's War. Yeah, there we go. That's gonna be nice. Mustache. Hey, Blades. Aaron. Thank you. I hope everyone's having a good day, evening, morning, depending on time zone. There we go. So that should be a reasonable amount of wash. I could use a coffee. I know it's 9 p.m. But that would definitely ruin my sleep. So, not gonna happen, but I can understand. Yeah. Yeah, I know I would need to sleep soon. Doesn't mean I wouldn't like a coffee. Just that my body wouldn't like me having coffee right now. Or sleep. Oh well. Yeah, if I'm doing coffee, I'm gonna go full caffeine. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely gonna darken it down once it dries. That's the point of a wash, right? Yeah. It'll be fun to come back and do all of the fabric around the armor. Nice. I just have my drip coffee maker right there, you know? But no more coffee until the morning. And honestly, one of my cats woke me up 3 times last night, and I could definitely use some sleep. Also the reason why I kind of want coffee right now. But tea for now. Yeah. Based on what I'm seeing so far, I'm gonna like the way that the mail comes out. If I have to do a very light dry brush over it, I can. To bring up the vibrancy a little bit. But at the same time, I do like the oiled look that it's producing right now. And if the fabric gets brighter, and this is in the darker shades instead, that's not a problem, really. So that's actually pretty nice. I like the way that's coming out. Yeah, it's fun to not have any of the fabric done and just like all the armor. Like, okay, sure. Might as well do the spearhead too. Yes, yes you do. I've been feeling the call for some BattleTech again. But, you know, at the moment, having a lot of fun with the Baron's War. But, you know, I could use a break at some point. I don't know when. Yeah, 2 more salvage boxes to open. Fun. Another flea? Aw, yeah. They don't make enough of the small mechs. I think they need to do something where they just put a ton in one box. They talked about the Bug Company at one point, and that would have been fun. Ran out of wash. Alright. Wash is definitely tinting them darker. Not a bad thing. Still don't know why I dropped frames. All right. So these guys are all drying. The wash just needs to fully settle. They've definitely darkened down a little bit. Might have to go through and do a quick dry brush over it as a highlight, but that's fine. Let's see. Now, I've got a whole bunch of levy. So, spears and bows. What shall I do? Should I try to do some of their clothing, or should I just go... I don't know. What do I do? What do I do? Let's see. I'm gonna try Wasteland Clay on a couple of things. See how this looks. You're close. How's it going, Resin? Yeah, it's going alright. I'm getting to paint some models. Trying out a color I haven't used before. This is Wasteland Clay. I think it's working alright for this levy. I could see using this for leather in the future. If I wanted to go bright leather. Half skin, something like that. Whatever it is. I think that would be alright. Yeah. That's actually a decent color. If I have it on my palette, I might as well use it a couple of times. So this guy is gonna have a hood. Color. Yep. So my dollar store has 24-pack of shot glasses. And then they also have two-sided sticky tape on foam. So you just peel the little bit off and stick it on there, and you get a whole bunch of them. So, 24 shot glasses and a whole roll of double-side sticky foam tape for less than $3 because it's not just $1 anymore. And, you know, since I can't find more of these easily, and I'm not going to swap, you know, a model constantly on this when I'm trying to paint 27 blue retinue at once. You know, this is a much less expensive way of having at least something that's not, you know, pinching that little bit. You got a little bit more control, and they're not going anywhere. They're on there until I don't want them on there anymore. So I also got my container for my wet palette and the parchment paper there. So using a fistful of blue tack. Yeah, the blue tack doesn't work quite as well, but sometimes I use it. Do Tyranid Hordes work in game? I haven't played a horde of Tyranids recently. The last time I played Tyranid Horde was probably halfway through 10th edition. They can work, from what I've seen, but which is really sad because I want to play Tyranid Horde. 204 models? That seems reasonable. Alright, and let's see. Yep, this guy's gonna get this color on the jacket, or whatever. So when you do a horde army, you have to play differently to if you're playing something more elite. You definitely have to 10 boxes of ptarmigan seems like a lot. Nah. Seems like fun. I mean, 10 boxes of ptarmigans isn't that crazy. It's what? Maybe this many? Not that crazy to have that many of them. Yet, it's probably not with the spare extra weapons. They probably don't have the weapon upgrade sprue. But, yeah. I have about 90 of them painted, too. How did I just... Oh, there they are. Trick is, then you go, okay, well, how many Hormiguns do you need? I've got at least 30 of those painted already, too. Like... I mean... I've got all of my painted ones over in the cabinets. But, I mean, they're Termagants and Hormiguns. You need to have a whole bunch of them. Yeah. I know, the Endless Swarm not being able to bring back more than one in a game is kind of sad. Wouldn't lose heavy in a transport? Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a bumpy ride. I don't know. Uh, I have not painted any Blood Bowl. I own one Blood Bowl mini, and that was painted by a friend and sent to me. I hear it's fun. That makes sense. I'm not really a big sports fan, so it would be fun to have a couple of extra models to paint, but not like I'm running out of models anytime soon. It's one of the reasons why I'm also not really that interested in the Hexadome Legends or whatever that Corvus Belli's about to release. I understand it, you know, as a game, but I just it's sports. That's fair. Hmm. You quite enjoy sports tabletop games? Fair enough. Cool dwarves, chaos dwarves with dwarf centaurs on the team. Yeah, that's fair. Nah, I'm gonna go with hood. The hood. Ah. Yeah, it's also a benefit of the coffee, right? Like that for that's pokers and hands. Brown. Warm skin tone. Alright, question. Should I do Tree Ancient or Dryad Brown for the spears, or should I go with a brighter color? I think maybe Dryad Brown. I don't know why I'm actually looking at doing the spears at the moment. Eh, whatever. We're gonna do it. Well, I don't want to go super dark with the spears. I think Dryad Brown will be enough. We'll see. I haven't actually put it on the palette yet. Yeah, that'll work. If I end up wanting to do a wash over them or something, I don't want it to be super dark. So nope. You're right. Tree Ancient. Might as well finish that one spear, but Honestly, this looks like a closer wood tone to me than that. Yeah, that's not too much darker, but it is darker. Oh. Honestly, they're not too bad, just doing whichever. Yeah. Felt good to paint. I can tell that I got a reasonable length of time left to get these done. Not gonna be a quick process, but a little bit here and there, you know? Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna use up the last of this round. These spears. And I'm gonna find a place to raid out. I'm gonna go relax for a little bit. But I feel good. We've got some layers of paint on the majority of, at least one layer on the majority of the blue retinue. I am looking forward to adding a little bit of splash of color on these guys later. Not gonna just be ochres and browns. But, you gotta start somewhere, right? Yeah. Ooh. Well, I've been painting some spears. And beyond that, I managed to get the metals down and washed. So, I might need to do another highlight over it, but I actually like how dark that is. So, you know, if I need to, after I've done everything else, I can hit it. Yeah. And then the knights all have the brass on the hilts and the, you know, spurs. There we go. And then the Baron has a decent amount. But I did that, and I got a couple of guys started on that, and I'm gonna get these 3 spears done, and then we're gonna find a place to raid out. So, it feels good. I hope your rest was decent. I could definitely use some rest as well. So, you know. Yeah. Exactly. Yay! 6-day shifts. Oof. Ugh. I honestly think it's about time to retire this brush. Yeah. It was really good. We got a lot of painting done overall. Got a long way to go still. But, you know, when you have 61 models that you're working on, not something that just, you know, gets done in a day. So, alright, last spear. Well, everyone, thank you for hanging out with me. And I will be back again on Friday. Probably going to be working on this again, but you never know. Maybe not. Plenty of other projects in the room. And we've done 5 streams in a row on this. Maybe we'll switch it up for 1. Maybe. So, yeah. Gonna... Yeah. So, until the next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss. Good night, all.